Frenzel equalization is the preferred method because we're using smaller muscle groups to equalize with, and we're also not pushing air from our lungs all the way up into our nasal cavity and then into our middle ear. Frenzel equalization is also much more controlled, and it's a much more relaxing way to equalize. Your instructor in the classroom will go into much more detail about Frenzel equalization, but in these videos we just want to give you an idea of what it's all about and give you a bit of a head start. Let's touch upon two new parts of the anatomy for equalization. The first one is the vocal fold, or as it gets called in freediving, the glottis. The glottis is a group of muscles situated around your vocal cords, and they actually separate your oral cavity from your thoracic cavity, or they separate your mouth from your lungs. You'll actually find that you have quite a natural control over your glottis, and one of the ways that we can develop more control is with this fun exercise. We're going to open our mouth wide, we're going to stick our tongue out as far as we can go, and take a deep breath in. So, why didn't we immediately exhale? It was because our vocal fold instinctively knew to snap shut. Let's take this exercise to another level. What we're going to do now is we're going to open our mouth, stick our tongue out, take a deep breath in, and we're going to open and close our glottis. Open, close, open, close, open, close. It's going to look like this. Now the next piece of anatomy we're going to talk about is the soft palate. The soft palate is what separates your oral cavity from your nasal cavity, and it's the thing at the back of your throat that wiggles when you snore. The soft palate directs the flow of air in and out of our lungs. When we're breathing through our nose in and out, our soft palate touches down onto the back of our tongue to direct the flow of air out of the nasal cavity. When we are breathing with our mouth, the soft palate moves up and back to allow the air to pass through our oral cavity. When we're underwater and we feel stressed, or we may be trying to equalize too hard, it's very normal for the soft palate to actually close up against the back of the nasal cavity and to stop any airflow from entering the nasal cavity. This is one of the reasons why it's very important to know about the soft palate, and another reason why we need to stay relaxed underwater, especially when we're equalizing. Now, if I were to simply lift my tongue and my throat up and down, the air pressure that I would create in my mouth would just escape out the front of my mouth, or it would escape into my lips. This is why when we are doing Frenzel equalization, we need to create a seal at the front of the mouth. We do this by pushing the front or the middle of our tongue up against the roof of the mouth to stop the flow of air from escaping. I want you to try putting your tongue into a T or a K position, by which I mean the position that your tongue goes when you make a T or a K sound. You'll notice that when you make a T sound, the tip of your tongue makes contact with the front of the roof of your mouth, just behind your teeth. And you'll notice when you make a K sound, the middle of your tongue makes contact with the middle of the roof of your mouth. Now, either of these positions are fine, and it's best for you to just work out which one you are most comfortable with. So now that we have our seal, we're going to need to lift the back of the tongue and to also contract our throat muscles. One of the easiest ways to do this is to stand in front of a mirror and try to make your throat rise up, and then as you relax, it should drop back down. Rise up, relax, drop back down. It's going to look like this. Up, down, relaxed. Now, while we're pinching our nostrils, we want to put this all together. We want the front or the middle of our tongue to be in a T or a K position, and we want to be lifting the back of our tongue upwards. Ideally, you should see your nostrils flare out, and you should feel a pop or a equalization in your middle ear, just like this. Learning how to Frenzel equalize can take time, and you really shouldn't expect yourself to be able to master it just by watching this video. Your instructor will go into much more detail during your course, and ideally by the end of it, you should have a strong grasp on Frenzel equalization.